This is News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedu. Thank you so much for staying. My colleague Ivy Setoji is bringing us some updates on that incident where a 13-year-old boy was shot and killed at Alavanyo in the Volta region. And we hear that there's some heavy security presence there. Hello, Ivy. Hello, Ivy. Can you hear me? What's the mood in Alavanyo today? Hello, Ivy. Hello, Ivy, can you hear me? Well, we seem to be having some trouble getting Ivy on the line there. We'll be speaking to her shortly. We hear the president will also be visiting the Volta region tomorrow. We'll be picking up some updates from her as well as to what exactly the president is expected to do in the region. We also hear that there'll be a regional security council later today. We'll be picking some updates on that as well. But there's some good news here because the Gushiegu Midwifery School has recalled Cecilia Awuni to write her final examination a day after she was driven out of the examination hall because she's pregnant. Following a Joy News report on the matter, the Nurses and Midwifery Council condemned the action, saying it is illegal. On the Super Morning Show yesterday, the registrar of the council, Felix Nyante, said they would intervene to ensure the lady writes a supplementary paper. Now, it seems that intervention has worked. Thursday afternoon, Cecilia Awuni was called to the school to meet the counseling team, which told her to report this morning to take part in the ongoing examination. Before we go into this particular story to bring you some details as to what the lawyers are saying, let's go back to the Volta region. My colleague Ivy Setoji is on the line now. Hello, Ivy.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's the mood in Alavanyo this morning?
Well, the mood is okay. The residents, as I said earlier, said they are still living in fear, but there is heavy security presence. Both the military and the police, they're making sure that everything goes on well. But still, people are unable to move from their houses. Some of them, some other people are ready to face whatever that is happening. Some are saying that they will go for their normal businesses, they will go to their works and other places. But some people, especially the women and children, said they are living in fear because of what happened to the little boy yesterday. The family are asking for justice. Right now, they don't know who the gunmen were or are, but they are asking for justice from the government, and they need more security present, even though there is heavy security present there. But for now, the town is calm. There is calm in the area.
All right, Ivy, but has the family been able to link this act to any feud between the family or another? Is it an issue of surprise where they cannot link the incident to anything the family or the young boy himself could have done, or they are linking it to something that's actually happened?
For now, according to the family and close friends, they are at the shock. They don't really know what to link this incident to, because the boy was in the house and he was killed in the house when he got back from school. So right now, they don't know whether to link it to the rivalry or the incident between the Nkonya and the Alavanyo or something else. So that if it were to be an older person or someone else, it would have been a different case, according to the residents. But this one is just a 12-year-old boy. And so right now, they don't know what to link. So they are not linking it to anyone. They said they are waiting for the police to come up with their investigation.
All right, Ivy, you claim the boy is 12, but the assemblyman for the area is saying 13. What exactly is it here?
Well, according to the same assemblyman who spoke to us earlier before we went on air, he said the boy was 12. And I made some other inquiries from the town, and they told me the boy was 12.
All right, thanks for the clarity. But what has the police been saying about this incident? Because one question a lot of people are asking is if this is linked to the Alavanyo Nkonya conflict. Have the police hinted at this?
Well, the police are still saying, the police have not been able to confirm, but they are saying, when I spoke to the crime officer earlier on, he said they are trying to make sure that everything goes on. But they are waiting for the regional minister, who is the head of the second region, to call them for a meeting, and then they will take it from there.
All right.
But they are on the ground.
All right, Ivy, there's also a regional security meeting we hear. When exactly is this happening?
For now, we don't know yet, but what we hear is it will happen soon.
Soon, okay.
Specifically, they are not specific about the time and the day.
Finally, before you leave us, Ivy, the president will also be in the Volta region tomorrow. What do you know about that visit?
Well, we know he's in the Volta region tomorrow, so I sent a program at the Mapi Senior High School, Senior Technical High School in the Central Town District. And later on, he's coming to Ho as well, to Trafalgar, and to meet the whole technical university students and UHAS as well. He also worshiped with the Global Evangelical Church, Piavet, Sapo, on Sunday, and then have a rally also, and then from there he'll go back to Accra.
Thank you very much for the information. Ivy Setterji is my colleague coming to us from the Volta region. Now let's go back to that story, that good news about this student at the Gushiegu Nursing and Midwifery School who has been recalled to take her papers, and that follows a Joy News report on the matter. And the Nurses and Midwifery Council also condemned the action, saying it is illegal. And on the Super Morning Show yesterday, the registrar of the council, Felix Nyante, said they would intervene, and yes, they did, and that intervention has worked. Thursday afternoon, Cecilia Awuni was called to the school to meet the counseling team, and the team told her to report this morning to take part in the ongoing examination, and I can confirm that this morning Cecilia took her papers.
They invited me to the school that they want to take me through counseling. So I should go back and be in uniform and come. So I went back to the house, wore my uniform and came back to the. So in the office, they sat down, they said, whatever has happened, they were going by the school rules and regulations in the previous year. But now that the rules and regulation is taking different dimensions, they are telling me to come back to the school and write with my colleagues tomorrow. So I shouldn't take it into consideration that the school may maltreat me or they will sabotage me in one way or the other. They are not going to do that. They will treat me like the other students. So if I have any problem concerning my studies or concerning my health, I'm free to come to any of the tutors and ask for help, and they are willing to help me. So I shouldn't put it in my mind that because this case has gone out of the media, they are going to maltreat me or they are going to mark my papers down in case I write any exam in the school.
So that was an interview Cecilia granted us yesterday, and I must reiterate that this morning Cecilia was able to take her papers. But we hear that some other students were also asked to leave the school or defer their courses because they were also pregnant. But what happens to them next? We'll bring you some updates during our midday news. Away from that, Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, says his ministry and other stakeholders are working assiduously on how Ghana can adopt technological means to put the waste it generates to good use. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch of the 2017 Innovation Prize for Africa on the theme Investing in Homegrown Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng said Ghanaians are not putting their waste to good use.
The Biogas Association of Ghana, it's a group of people who are converting feces and other biodegradable organic material into biogas and compost. A lot of things are happening. In the NGO scene, if you go to Tema, Ashaman, you will find a group called Safisana who are processing about 30 tons of waste every day into energy, biogas, that powers a generator feeding 2.2 megawatts of power into the national grid with compost as byproduct. So a lot of things are happening. And so, again, these are exciting times, and I want you to visit some of these people and see what they are doing. The energy, waste to energy is happening. We don't want even to call it any waste. I even believe that we are even not taking advantage of the waste that we have. We are wasting the waste because this is raw material which must be utilized well. Apart from energy, we're going to get compost, and that will reduce our importation of fertilizer. And so again, we are in exciting times, and be part of it. The policies are there. We only have to make Ghanaians should know that they are part of this process, that don't litter indiscriminately. Segregate your waste, as much as possible from the home. Put plastic somewhere, organic material somewhere, and then the waste disposal collection agencies can also segregate the waste, and then from the home throughout to the factory level, we'll be able to either recycle the waste or to process the waste into energy or into compost.
Now, taking his turn to speak during a panel discussion, CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Council, Mr. Yofi Grant, stated his recommendation to government is to resource the Venture Capital Fund to support agriculture and technology startups.
Are not there to necessarily support small companies or anybody. They're there to make money. Banks are not there to support people. They are there to make money. It's a business. People invest in banks. They want their money back. So the banks look at companies that are already making money and support them, because that is a sure guarantee. That. Now, what about the startup companies? Who is there to support the startup companies? And my supposition and my recommendation to this government is to actually resource the Government Venture Capital Fund to look at some of these nascent companies, especially in the technology space. And the reason why it's important, not just technology, but agric, because those two sectors are almost going to be the bedrock of the transformation of Ghana. Agric, because food security is national security. And currently Ghana is importing $2.2 billion worth of food. Why can't the $2.2 billion be invested inwards to grow our agricultural base? Then we don't have to rely on anybody giving you rice or maize or whatever it is.
You're watching Joy News Desk. There's more here, plus some stories from the world of business and sports. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly.